I'm seeing price escalations and I'm seeing price reductions. So what the heck is going on in the market? Man, I'm gonna break it down for you and explain to you exactly what I think is going on and what we're seeing each and every day right here in Snohomish County, hyper local market data. It's Mike Novak from the Novak Real Estate Team, part of Real Brokerage, bringing you our April market report. I'm going to walk you through the data, and at the end of it, I'll share with you kind of the fundamental dynamics to this market and what it could mean for you as a buyer or as a seller. But first off, like I start every month off, let's start with the average sales price. We're at $831,000, it's up about 8% from last year. So prices are still going up, guys. And I'm going to put up on the screen a 5-year chart of pricing. If you go back 5 years, guys, the average home price was well under $500,000. And it's been a steady climb up to where it is at today of $830,000. So if you're one of those people saying I'm gonna wait for prices to go down, tell me why in the world you think prices are going down when they haven't gone down for 5 years. We have a stable jobs market, interest rates have gone up, and people still keep buying houses. So I don't see prices going down anytime soon, and they're connected directly to inventory, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But look at this chart I put up and look at the consistency of price increases over the last 5 years, all the way from under $500 to all the way over $800,000. If you've been sitting on a home over this period of time, you've made some massive appreciation and you bought at a great time. Second, new listings down 14%. There's an absolute lack of new listings coming to the market right now, and I'll explain why here in just a couple of minutes. But this is a big problem. It's going to have a big impact on our market and possibly on buyers as well if you're thinking about buying a home. Homes for sale up 123%, but man, is it shrinking each and every day. A lot of the homes that are sitting on the market that are those homes for sale are in the higher price ranges, or they're out in the sticks, out in these peripheral markets and smaller areas. So it's definitely not in the urban areas, and it's definitely not in the, $500,000 to $700,000 price range. Okay. Days on market, how long does it take to sell a home? It's about 23 days from when you list a home to when it goes under contract on average. But this is very misleading, guys, because a lot of homes right now, they have offer review dates. Offer review dates are back, and we're seeing it happening all the time in a lot of areas and definitely in the lower price ranges. So, homes are going to sell in 3-4 days, just depending on what the review date is. Oftentimes the review date gets broken because a really strong offer comes in as well. But just know that offer review dates are back, and if the home is priced right, it's in good locations in the right price range, it's going to sell super fast. And also, of course, if it's marketed right. Okay. Months of inventory supply. So how many months would it take to sell everything we've got on the market right now if no other homes came on? We're at 1.3 months, which is an increase from last year. Last year we only had half a month, but this number keeps shrinking each month that we go on to this year. We started January with a lot more inventory, and it's just steadily gone down and down and down and down and down. There's not a lot of homes for sale. So many of the buyers in our team even are looking at what's for sale, and they're like, there's nothing for sale right now. Maybe one home in my price range in my location. And so it's all about new listings. It's all about getting a game plan together to make sure if you're thinking about buying a home that you're positioning yourself to really take advantage of that opportunity when it comes on the market. But it's probably not just sitting there waiting for you. Okay, so you got to make sure you know about that. The list price to sell price ratio, how much are homes selling in relationship to what they're listed for? Well, it's 100.1%. So homes are selling on average, again now, this has changed, to more than what they're listed for. Okay. So some homes are selling for 3 to 5% over, some are selling for a little bit below list price, but on average it's going just a little bit above. It really depends on how the home was priced to start with, okay? But that number, and I'm gonna put up a screenshot for you, it's gonna show you what was the list price to sale price ratio over the last 5 years. And look at that blip that you see last year at this time. You saw prices going 105%, of list price to sale price. So about 5% more than they are right now. So that makes now still a much better time to buy than it was 1 year at this time if you're one of those buyers that hasn't gotten off the fence. So take a look at that, and that chart tells you everything that you need to know right there. So what are the fundamental dynamics to this market? There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of layers to this, and I feel like it's very misunderstood, not only by buyers and sellers, but also by a lot of agents as well. And I just want to share with you what's going on and what we're seeing. So first of all, the interest rates are a huge dynamic to our market right now. And everyone's talking about how this is affecting buyers, but nobody's talking about how this is affecting sellers. So I want to just bring that up right now. The reason this is affecting sellers and the reason our inventory is continuing to get lower and lower is because sellers often have an interest rate that starts with a 2 or a 3. We had historically low rates over the last 5 years. A lot of people locked in a really low rate, and it's really hard to swallow getting rid of that 2 or 3% interest rate to go get something that's 6.5% interest rate. That just doesn't make a ton of sense for a lot of people. So unless you're moving out of state, you know, there's some kind of death that's occurred, some kind of divorce that's happening, like those life events that force a move. Oftentimes sellers are just holding on, waiting to see what's going to happen, because they just can't make it pencil out to go buy a new home at that 6.5% interest rate if they've got something at 2.5%, like so many of them have right now. This is resulting in a very low inventory market. It's just going to keep getting worse the closer we get to summer. The relief to this will come when rates drop back down to the high 4s, maybe even low 5s. I don't know when that's going to happen. A lot of people are saying it's going to happen by summer. That would be great if it does, but we need to close that gap between where sellers are at right now on their current interest rates and what they would go get if they went and bought something else. When that gap has been closed to a reasonable amount, then at that point you're going to see the inventory issue resolve, and you're also going to see sellers more willing to make a move. So that is a huge dynamic right now. Of course, it's affecting buyers. It's having a big impact on you as a buyer and how much your payment could be, but it's really affecting sellers, which inadvertently is affecting inventory, which then affects buyers. It all kind of connects together. So if you're buying in this market, make sure you've really done your homework. I want to remind you, I've got a bunch of videos about this. Running around looking at homes just randomly with no game plan is not a strategy to buy a home. Buying a home is a huge financial decision. You need to take the time to properly prepare yourself and get a game plan together on how you're going to purchase that home. Homes, there's not a lot of inventory right now, so when the right property comes on, you better have that game plan together. You better be pre-approved. You better know exactly what it's going to take to win that house, and then go swing for the fences on that home. But if you don't have that game plan, if you haven't invested the time to really get that together, you're going to struggle to buy a home in this current market, okay? Just make sure you've got a strategy for financing, a strategy for appraisal, a strategy for your earnest money, a strategy for inspections. All of those types of things you need a game plan for, and your agent should be walking you through what to expect on each and every one of those things, okay? For sellers, you're kind of in the driver's seat again right now. You know, it got soft at the end of last year where sellers were sitting on the market for a while, but if you're a seller right now and you're below 700 and you're in a decent location, you know, you're going to do pretty well. I want to just remind you that anyone can sell a home when the market is on fire for sellers, but not everyone can maximize your purchase price for that home. That's where the talent of the agent you work with really comes into play. Look at their track record, understand their marketing plan. Marketing absolutely matters in this market. I've seen multiple homes get thrown on the MLS with iPhone photos, not properly staged. They're very dark, they don't show well, and they're just put in the MLS. Like, that's the extent of the marketing strategy. Just basically a sign in the yard, a lock on the door, and a key box, and then throwing it in the MLS. And those homes are not selling, guys. They're sitting, and they're the ones that you see having price reductions. So the home has to be priced right, and it's got to be marketed correctly. If you do those things, you're going to have a great outcome. But you can't just throw it up haphazardly and think you're going to get top dollar for that home, or even that it's going to sell for that matter, okay? So the fundamentals and the basics really do matter still in this market. How your property is brought to the market, and then what happens with that property once you get offers coming in, especially if there's multiple offers. That's where your agent can make or break it for you, okay? So I hope that helps. If you have questions about any of this, please reach out to me direct. My team and I would like to be a resource for you and just make sure that you have answers to your questions.